Maori electorate MPs delivered an ultimatum to their Maori constituents. Vote for us or we're gone. It's a bold move that's been welcomed in some quarters and slammed in others. You could say it's a political version of ka mate, ka ora, ka ora. Here to discuss what it means is Labour's MP for Te Tai Tokerau, Kelvin Davis. Tēnā koe.
Kia ora, mōrena mihi.
So, MMP, it's supposed to be offering more choice to your voters, but effectively, haven't you taken that choice away?
No, and in fact, we're offering voters more choice. If people vote for the MP as their candidate and they give their party vote to Labour, then we should see more non-Māori candidates, non-Māori MPs after the election. So in fact we could have upwards of 9 or 10 Māori MPs in the Labour caucus post the election. We've got 7 now. And I think that it offers more choice to Māori. And in fact, I think that this is the greatest thing for Māori since Kupe-sided land.
That would be true if you could guarantee that you were going to win your seats, but it's a gamble. Why would you take such a gamble?
It is a risk, but who dares wins. And we're confident. It's a sign of strength and unity and confidence that we're going to win our seats. You know, we've got 6 sitting Māori MPs at the moment. And like I say, if we step aside and allow other Māori candidates to come to the front of the list. Let's look at that,
because in 2014, if you looked at the Labour Party list, every 4 or 5 under 20 were Māori. So as you vacate your seats on the list, who's going to replace you?
Well, we've got some excellent candidates. We've got Willow Jean Prime, we've got Kitty Tapuela, Willie Jackson.
Where will they be on your list?
Well, the list selection hasn't been done yet, and we can't preempt it. Well, quite possibly. I hope so.
Can you guarantee your voters that they're going to be? Because last election, Labour's party vote only managed to bring in 5 people onto the list. So if you've got Willow Jean sitting at 36 and, you know, someone else at 26, they're never going to get in.
Well, that's the thing is we did have Maori. We had 3 or 4 in the top 20, so hopefully we'll have 3 or 4 in the top 20 this time around, which would take our numbers up to 10.
So you've vacated the list without even knowing what you're going to offer the Maori voter?
Well, the list process has to be gone through, and it's not for me to say where people are going to go in on the list. That's a party process, and we do have the equity check to make sure that we have that the list reflects New Zealand, and we are really expecting to have 2, 3, 4 maybe new Māori MPs after the election.
So, some commentators have said this is a terrible move. They've said if the Labour leadership valued you like it says it does, it wouldn't have let this happen. It wouldn't have, you know, had taken a gamble with these 6 MPs.
Well, let's get it straight. This was a decision that we wanted as the Māori electorate MPs now, and we took it to Andrew Little and the President of the Labour Party and the Senior Māori Vice President.
And what did they say?
They weren't very happy about it initially, but we presented our case, and they had a talk about it and came back and said, OK, well, we're going to allow this to happen. It's only going to happen in this election. It's not to say it will happen in the next election. Okay. But they weren't particularly happy, but they respected our point of view.
If it's such a good deal, will Andrew Little be off the list and standing only in a seat? Will Jacinda Ardern do that? Will Mr Nash from Napier do that? And
this is only for the Māori electorate MPs.
But if it's good enough for the Māori MPs, why is it not good enough for Pākehā MPs?
Because we presented our case. All the MPs are expected to be on the list unless there's circumstances, and we...
Pākehā MPs get a second choice, but you don't.
Louisa Wall is an electorate MP in a general electorate. It doesn't apply to her. It's just to the Māori electorate MPs, and that was our choice.
So tell Māori voters why they should give their party vote to Labour again. Well,
so that we can get at least 3, maybe 4 new Māori MPs into Parliament, because never in the history of New Zealand have we had 9, 10 Māori MPs in one party. And the thing is that the Māori Party always ever going to be an appendage to the National Party. National Party is going that way. The Māori Party is trying to row that way, but they're getting pulled along. Whereas this is what happens when Māori get into a mainstream party, and we can actually be sitting at the cabinet table. So there's 5 of us in the shadow cabinet, and when you're a minister...
Provided you win the seat.
Well, there's 5 of us in the shadow cabinet. If we win the election, there'll be 5 Māori MPs in cabinet. I don't know if that's ever happened before, and that's when you're a minister, is when you really start making the changes.
And if you don't win, if voters are turned off by this idea, the chance that we lose Nanaia Mahuta with 20 years experience, Kelvin Davis, who's done really well in corrections. That's the gamble, isn't it?
Well, there's a choice between maybe 10 Māori MPs and not. So, you know,
Either 10 Māori MPs or none.
We're giving our voters a choice. And that, you know, it's up to them whether they want heaps of Māoris in Parliament or whether they just want one or two.
Ka pai. Kia ora, thank you for your time this morning.
Kia ora.
I call the honourable member Kelvin Davis.
Kia ora, Mr Speaker. Ngai tamara awaho Ngāti Tapu, tēnā koutou. Tēnā koutou I taia tinana mai hei kitea kānui, hei ronga tāringa I ngā kōrero e pāna ki tō koutou whenua. Nā reira, nau mai, haere mai, whakatau mai. Mr Speaker, I whakapapa to the Church Missionary Society. My great-uncle Manu Davis from Tōrere was an Anglican minister. His son Rangi is an Anglican minister. My father's oldest brother Walton Davis was an Anglican minister. His son Kerry is training to be an Anglican minister. My mother is an Anglican minister and my brother-in-law is an Anglican minister. I aspire to be a minister of other sorts, but that road has been full of potholes and speed bumps, I must say. But Mr Speaker, despite my whakapapa to the Anglican Church, of which I am proud of, I agree entirely with the words of Tauhenare when he says that the Church has a lot to answer for. And taking land was one of the biggest crimes that the Anglican Church committed over the many years here. And we have a saying in Māori, and it's very clear, and I think it sums up this whole bill. It goes, riro whenua atu hoki whenua mai. Land has been taken, return it. And that's what this bill is doing, Mr Speaker. It is setting right a wrong. And as my uncle JJ Johnson, who was a cousin of my grandmother, who was also an Anglican minister, used to say to me, if you make a mistake, fix it up. And this is a mistake that has been fixed up for the betterment of Ngai Tamarawaho and Ngāti Tapu. Before I close, I'd just like to acknowledge Te Uriroa Flavel for bringing this bill to the House. Obviously, I missed all but this part of it due to my enforced absence from the House. But I have to say I am pleased to be back. And if the House can just indulge me one last time, I tētahi tauhi mua I roto hau tōku whare e whakaro ngana ki ngā poroporo aki mo tōku hoa a parekura. I te mā takitaki a hau I roto tōku kāinga, taumahana te ngākau, mā kuku ana ngā whatu. Engari, tēnei takutaima tuatahi hei hoki mai ki te whare, hei mihi atu hei poroporo aki ki te rangatira rā a parekura. Nā reira, parekura haere atu ki a rātou. Rātou hoki o Ngai Tamarawaho me Ngāti Tapu, rātou I mate I mua I te taunga o tēnei o ngā pere. Nā reira, e te whare, tēnā koutou katoa.
Kelvin Davis.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, does he stand by all his statements?
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, yes.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Kelvin Davis.
Can he confirm there are no New Zealand-born rapists and murderers on Christmas Island, contrary to what he said in the House on Tuesday?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I don't necessarily agree with the member's characterisation of it, but the Prime Minister has pointed out the broader issue here around the detention of Kiwis in Australia, which is that many of them have committed serious crimes. The ones who are detained have said they do not want to come back to New Zealand.
Answer the question. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Kelvin Davis.
Why did he say, quote, we are not on the side of sex offenders, we are on the side of New Zealanders, unquote, when the number of serious sex offences has skyrocketed by more than 1,000 a year under his watch, and fewer than half of those are now solved?
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, I think the government can point to consistent and for the first time ever very focused activity on reducing assaults on children. In fact, it's one of our better public services results, is to reduce substantiated assaults on children. No Labor government ever set out to do that.
Supplementary.
Order. Order. If a member from the front bench wants to leave, I can assist. Supplementary question, Kelvin Davis.
Are his government's $160 million of cuts to police funding in real per capita terms the reason that fewer than half of rapists are being caught on his watch compared to 2/3 in 2008? And doesn't this show his disregard for the victims of these crimes?
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Well, Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, first the member should understand policing is a matter for the Police Commissioner, not the Prime Minister. Well, it's an important constitutional distinction, which clearly the Labor Party doesn't understand. Secondly, policing excellence and policing excellence for the future, the two change programs that police have implemented, are the most intelligent, community-focused and preventative-focused policing New Zealand has ever seen. It may be true, it may be the case that reporting of domestic and sexual violence is higher. That indicates confidence that the police are increasingly able to deal with this scourge in our society. And the police have the full support, and I'm sure they would tell the member they have the full support in the government in addressing these serious issues.
Supplementary question, Kelvin Davis.
Doesn't the dramatic rise in unsolved sex crimes on his watch show he is a hollow man, happy to hurl insults in the House, but failing to keep Kiwis safe in their homes?
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Well, the member does himself no good by crassly overstating his case. Well, it's true. It's true. It's true. The reporting of sexual crime has increased because there is more confidence that it's better understood and better dealt with. And just by way of example, this government inherited a complete shambles of government programs aimed at vulnerable children and family violence. In fact, it took several years to find all the bits of a shambolic, unpredictable set of interventions set up by the Labor government. And they should go and ask groups like the family violence prevention groups and Women's Refuge, and they will tell that member he has no idea what he's talking about.
Order.
And he's meant to be...
Order. The answer's now going on for too long.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question. Order. Supplementary question, Kelvin Davis.
Has he ever said a person was suitable to be a minister in his government while knowing that person was under investigation for sex offences?
Order. No, I'm not going to allow that one to proceed on the order because of a matter that is currently before the courts, and I refer the member to Speakers to Standing Order 1152. I will allow the member to replace that supplementary question. Point of order.
Point of order, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, I have the Kelvin Davis's question. I've made a note of it and I have it with me. He did not refer to any specific case at all. So I just want to be clear, because hypothetically any number of things could be before the court.
Also, yeah, I accept. Listen, the members also, I think he's genuinely raising a point. This is a dangerous area for everybody, where this Parliament, as long as I'm here, will respect the separate jurisdiction of our judicial system. I think it's a dangerous question. I'm ruling it out. But I'm going to replace it with an additional supplementary for the benefit of the member, and I won't entertain further discussion because that, of course, defeats the very purpose of Standing Order 115. Kelvin Davis.
No, actually, Mr Speaker, I think the point was made.
Question. Order.